morning, you listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is David Sheehan, the CEO of Schattdecor North America. David, how you doing?
I'm good, Kemp, and hope you are.
I am. I've missed talking with you. You're in a business now that flooring is part of it, but it's a much more diverse business. We'll get to that in just a minute. First, a little background on you. You spent most of your early career in flooring, starting with Pergo. Then you got on to the Mannington family train and spent a lot of time with Mannington Mills. Left Mannington Mills, spent several years at Mohawk, then came back to Mannington as a senior vice president, and now you're CEO of Schattdecor. And I got to think the motivation there was you approach the age you are, you wanted to run something on your own, right?
Yeah, Kemp, I think you nailed it. I mean, it was an opportunity of a lifetime. I knew Schattdecor since my early Pergo days, as Pergo was one of the many customers that they had in the laminate flooring category. So I knew the company, I knew the people, the products, the reputation. And when I was offered the opportunity, I decided that it was the dream job that I had been looking for. Believe me, I loved working for Mannington, and that's one of the best things that ever happened in my career. But I guess the good news is that they're a customer of mine, and I still get the chance to interact with my friends and buddies at Mannington.
Well, let me talk a bit more about your character. You tell it like it is. That's a good trait. Be honest, tell the truth. Sometimes, that may not be a great thing if you're in middle management, but it's a fantastic character trait for the CEO, wouldn't you say?
Most definitely. You have to be able to mobilize the troops. You have to be able to explain what you can and can't do. And the more that you're open and transparent, the better people are going to feel that you are a consistent and reliable partner. And I believe that works both internally as well as externally.
So let's talk a little bit about Schattdecor. It's a German-based company. You're in charge of the North American operations. You got production facilities in China, the United States, Brazil, Italy, Poland, and Turkey. And your product is, you talked about laminate earlier. Laminate has that decorative paper right under the melamine surface, and you make that. But you also make the foils and films for producing the visual with resilient products as well, right?
That's correct. Getting into thermoplastics, because we can print on PVC, which obviously goes into LVT. We also have experience with non-PVC products like PP, PET, etc., because those are becoming in vogue as well, especially on the commercial side. But we are the leader in decorative surfaces globally, and we've got three main businesses. We print, we saturate, or what Europeans will call impregnation, and then we produce finished surfaces. And they go into a whole host of industries like flooring, furniture, kitchen cabinets, countertop. So anything that you are wanting to make the image look like either wood, stone, tile, or maybe even an abstract, those are all examples of what we do. As a result of that, our view is a little bit more three-dimensional in both commercial and residential interior spaces.
Another big market for you is wall panels, because we're seeing more and more use of a faux image on wall panels, right?
Indeed, that's something that we are actively interested in pursuing. We do it on the wood-based products as well, but going down that PVC route is something that we are interested in participating in.
So what sets you apart from the other people that do what you do?
I think it boils down to three things. One, it's that three-dimensional holistic view of what's going on inside the house. Our designers have to be in touch with what's going on the furniture side, the kitchen cabinet, countertops. All of those things need to work in concert in the interior home fashion world. And so when our designers are developing flooring designs, we kind of know what's already happening, and we have access to really good data on what's happening with cabinets, countertops, furniture. So we've got more of a holistic 3D view of what's going on in the home. So we believe we have really good designs that are on time, they're on trend, and they work to coordinate and bring the whole room together. That's one of the things that we do with our flooring customers, is that we can give them that three-dimensional view, what they need in order to be successful with today's consumer.
Well, you said our designers, and I think that may be another thing, because there's the mechanical process of transferring images, but there's, the customer help in knowing what works that I think you offer the market, right?
That's correct. We do design work collaborations with our customers. It can happen a number of ways. In some cases, customers are giving us a design brief. In other instances, they're coming to us and saying, all right, take a look at our line. If you can, benchmark us against our competitors. Tell us what we're missing. Tell us what are some of the trends and what are some of the colors and designs that we don't have that we should have in order to be successful. So it's a consultative process that we execute, and we can do that either at their location or they can come to our design workshop space in St. Louis. The second thing that's probably key, especially in today's world of tariffs, long lead times, disruption as a result of either logistics, freight, etc. Many of our competitors, especially that are in the PVC, LVT flooring space, they're producing their films in Asia. When you place an order, and if you are a U.S. producing LVT manufacturer, you're going to wait anywhere between 12 to 18 weeks in order to get your product from the moment you place the purchase order. With us, we're producing here in the U.S. You place an order and you can get your product within 5 to 7 weeks. And I can tell you from experience, having been on the other side, that's a big deal. I was always confronted with the situation when I was at Mannington or at Mohawk that I was waiting on print film. I had too much of the stuff that I didn't need, and I had not enough of the stuff that was really selling and was really hot. Air freighting print film can be very expensive. So providing better service with our, domestic capability, I think is another key advantage that we have versus our Asian competitors. Last but not least, we have got the ability to collaborate with our customers, and we can do that work here in the U.S. You mentioned earlier, you said, well, I noticed that you print all kind of around the world. That's right. We have printing facilities in Europe and in Asia. And what we can bring to the table for, American companies, American designers, and product leaders is they can do the design and development work here in the U.S. We can do all of that work here in the same time zone, right? And then they can decide, do they want to produce that product here in the U.S.? We would then print it and then ship it to companies here in the U.S. Or, as you know, Kemp, a fair amount, close to 80-85% of the LVT that's consumed in the U.S. is coming from Asia. Well, in this instance, we can simply transfer the files to our partners either in Europe or in Asia, have it printed, and then shipped to their location of choice. The other value add that we're bringing is we can leverage our global footprint to allow the U.S. producers to make that design come to life at any of the locations that they choose, either domestic or from Asia. Those are probably the three main differentiators that kind of give us a unique selling proposition in the U.S.
Well, it's very interesting to learn more about this. I appreciate you spending time with the listeners. Again, been talking to David Sheehan, the CEO of Schattdecor North America, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.